Go box. Wait, gosh. H-O-T-G-O.
No. What? You have to sound it out?
No.
You're sounding it out right now.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O. There it is.
Jesus Christ. It's right in the lyrics.
I forgot that I forgot that the to-go was there, Emily. I forgot that the to-go was there. But that's where the phone is. I don't know if it's actually... What's the red thingies?
What?
The red thingies?
So, it means it got too loud.
Oh. It could have been when I was yelling at you. But anyway, could have been when I was yelling at you. But just to go back in, like, that is such a pants way to go. Like, you fought dragons.
I know you say that, but it sounds so dumb.
It's an actual thing.
I know, but
it's like, you've gone through, like, hell and back, fought a dragon. I think they actually fought a couple of dragons. The animated series is much different than the actual podcast.
Okay.
But I don't know if you've seen both or either, but it's like, of all the ways to die, you know this, dumb ways to die, it's like, that's on the list. That
Did
made
you know they're
the list.
collaborating, apparently, allegedly, I just saw this on Facebook, with, Happy Tree Friends to make an episode?
What's that?
Don't worry about it.
Critical Role?
No. Those ways to die.
Oh. No, I know. That would be, they cut out the cow bit. They cut out the cow bit. They could have done it. It would have been awesome. But, and that's what I'm saying, in a world where we've got, like, the cow bit, and that's a fully, like, realized thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Critical Role. It's still Critical Role. So you haven't seen, so you've seen the animated series, you haven't heard the actual, like, podcast.
Uh-uh.
But of all the ways to die, and what makes it worse, what makes the animated version worse, is that, like, Percy is fully cognizant, he is fully aware of, he goes to help Anna Ripley up, and she, like, pulls the gun and shoots him.
Whoa.
And he's unconscious in, like, the actual, like, podcast. Which doesn't make it better, it's still, like I said, in this fantastical world of, like, magic and mayhem, it's like, what took you out? Like, the thing that kills regular people, and I know he's human, but it's like, of all the things, it'd be like getting hit by a car in their world. It's just kind of funny.
And you know what? I think that was my thing with
He choked on a banana. Like, it's
like, because I watched a couple episodes. I did not watch the podcast. I did not finish watching. I think I was on, like, the 4th or 5th episode. But what kept getting me was that it's like, this is the most motley crew.
We're on the 3rd season, by the way.
What? Oh. I do have to, hold on, now, wait a minute. This was not last year. The year before.
Like, we are well beyond the first 4 episodes.
Before that, I was pregnant, when I was watching this. So I know it wasn't that long ago. So I've been behind for a...
I continue to be behind, which
I love. Continue, and will continue to do so.
I love...
Oh, that's what I love that D&D.
Spoilers ahead. I love everyone that hasn't watched the podcast and is like, oh my god, Percy is dead! Because I was on the phone with Tina the other day, and kind of like, I was watching it, I forget what we were talking about, something about her cat, but I was watching it, and I, like, out of the corner of my ear, I heard the gunshot, and they're, oh no, Percy! And I'm like, fuck, my favorite character just died. And she goes, well, is he gonna be alright? Like, this is pushing 60, someone who definitely...
Pushing 60?
How old is she?
She's 55!
Yeah, that's pushing 60. That, come next year, she will be closer to being 60 than she will be to being 50. And so someone who has definitely not delved into this, at least not recently.
Oh, that's like a fair statement.
I think it is. Like, would she sit and watch a podcast on her own, knowing her?
No.
But it's like, this is, and then she immediately goes from, well, is he going to be all right? To, like, completely, like, unconcerned. To...
Yeah, she raised us for 27 years. Like, no. A little subjective.
But goes from, like, to, oh, you know, Percy is a cute name.
Known us for 27 years. That, like, I'm sure it's come up that, like...
It's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, this isn't, like, the first fandom where, like, they did a fake out.
And then she immediately, like I said, immediately goes into, well, Percy's that's such a cute name. I love it. Like the train.
Like the train.
Like the train. Like in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay, this is, like... Ooh.
When my favorite character, Percy, just died, and that's a cute...
Like the train.
Is he gonna be okay? Well, you know, he has the same name as a train. Like, this is how much we're not worried about him. And that's what I was trying to get to. The people that don't...
But the fact that you were like, my favorite character just died, his name is Percy. Like, I'm surprised she wasn't like, wow, Thomas the Tank Engine
just got dark. That actually happened. We were, speaking of, like, kid shows...
Someone talking about Thomas the Tank Engine?
Someone talking about Thomas the Tank Engine.
Really?
We were watching season 6 of Ninjago, and I felt like I had to turn it off at one point. I'm like,
did he actually die on Thomas the Tank Engine, or am I just like missing your reference?
No, but that was but Ninjago being like a kids show we used to watch, and then it's like people died that day, Lloyd.
Yeah, but they're Legos,
and it's like they're Legos. That's how did they? And that's another one of those, like, in this magical, fantastical world of spinning Legos. And it's like, how did they die? The building fell on them. It's like, that's pretty funny. That is...
I mean, that's like a legitimate way for a Lego to die.
For someone to die. And, like, not a Lego.
They are Legos, though.
Yeah, they are Legos, but, like...
Wait, comparatively, we're talking about how, like...
Building...
Percy. I'm sorry, I don't understand
the... Oh, I love it. Which one was Percy
in Thomas the Tank Engine?
In Thomas the Tank Engine, because,
Harry Potter, Percy. But Percy was a bitch in Harry Potter. Like,
he was a bitch. No, he was a bitch in Thomas the Tank Engine also.
Yeah, he's a bitch with the name.
He's a bitch in Critical Role, but then, like...
I'm sorry if you watch this. His name's Percy. Your parents hate you.
But... Percy, the role, he has a full name, but I'm...
Yeah, and it's like 2 pages long.
It's like 2 pages long.
Percival.
You know what's worse is that, like, his name was written on... I guess this is kind of spoilers, but it's written on the pepper box, and that, like, you know, that's how they know he is gone right now, is his name goes off of the pepper box. It's like, that's a lot of writing for, like, one small little gun. Like, that fits in the, you know, palm of her hand, and you got...
I forgot the pepper box was his...
No. Pepper box is Anna's.
Yeah, but it's a gun, right?
It is a gun. And then, Percy's gun is named...
They named the gun.
They named the guns, because they don't have guns in this world. This is something he invented, so only 2 people have guns. He invented guns, and that's how he died.
Percy!
He invented the thing that killed him. That's kind of...
Oh, okay, well, but he doesn't stay dead.
Yeah, I know, and that's... They show, like, the funeral, but then they never bury it, and that was the other thing.
Invented guns?
That was the other thing I told Tina. I'm like, it's the bait and switch. Like, they show us the body, but then, like, they're like, look, he's not wearing his glasses in death, which it's like, I would want my ghost to be able to see. I would want those buried with me.
Black Butler hero, like... She knows they're coming back, except for that one guy who didn't come back.
That was in the anime. You have to be so specific. The one guy that didn't come back.
But this is how, like, out of touch I am with, like...
The one that didn't come back.
Watch. How many times has this happened? Actually, I remember when Percy died initially, because you were like... The first time, they got you good the first go around. You were like, oh my god, my favorite character's dead.
Well, and that's because we didn't
Wait, no. It was when, what's his name? The other guy. The guy died for real. What is his name? Vax?
Vax.
Ah! That was close.
When Vax...
That's when he died, and you were like, oh no, he died.
Because he died for good.
What did I say? I was like, Percy's dead.
Yeah, I'm like, my favorite character just died. Or one of my favorite characters, and you're like, oh no, Percy's dead.
Wait, that was my exact text was, oh no, Percy. And I didn't actually care, but like, I was trying to be supportive.
Well, and for me, the thing that got me is that they were twins. They were twins, and then one of them goes off and, like, starts a family and gets married, and then Percy and Vex are not twins. Or Vax. They're not twins.
Vax and Vex.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, hold on. Now that's another thing that drives me bonkers. Finding names for twins.
But they mean...
similar.
They mean two different things.
Yeah.
It's Vexalia and then the other one.
And the other one. What's the other one? You looking it up?
No, hold on. I was looking up which one Percy was in Thomas the Tank Engine.
What? Past that.
No, when they're going through all their... Is Percy in? Okay, he pulls the mail on time is the one.
That's what he does?
Yeah, he's a male. He is a male engine.
Well, yeah, his name's Percy.
They're a male. You know what I mean? Stop.
Percent a male. SpongeBob's great. I was just watching it, but my name is Girly Teen Girl.
It's Percival Frederickstein von Musel Kowalski de Rollo III.
What? And there's three of them.
And there's three of them
to realize this was a dumb name.
A terrible name. And then his father is Frederick de Rollo.
How the hell is he a third?
Frederick.
Who's the other three Percys?
Well, you don't have to be named.
Typically, yes, you do.
No, you could be like named after your grandfather and be a second. Like, you don't necessarily have to. It doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be.
But there's like
one after the other after the other.
Then who are the subsequent?
His ancestors probably.
That's never established.
It might be. I don't see it right now. That's not important.
That's not even like the. They're more like talking points for Critical Role. I think they should be talking about. It's just like an absurd.
Vexalia and Vexaladin, it looks like.
What?
Vexildan, something like that.
Vexildan?
I can't.
She's got like a beautiful, like, Vexalia, and then you got, like, I know it's not pronounced Vexildan, but it's Vexildan now.
Vexildan from now on.
Vexildon.
And I had a very funny, I had a terrible way to remember them.
That's awesome.
Is that I had a terrible way to tell the twins apart when I first started the show, and that was that Vex is me. Because I didn't like her at first, and now I love her, so it doesn't make any sense, but oh well.
The episodes I did watch, I did like Vex, and I liked her because she was very much like, especially with Percy,
Vex,
she was,
real quick.
What?
Are you
going to tell me something I don't like?
No, I call him Vex because I would like to be jabbed by him. That's how I remember which one is Vex and which one's Vax.
Squeeze? What?
That's what we were coming up with. And, like, we were coming up with, so a friend and I watched this, and we were trying to figure out, like, how to, kind of remember who was who.
I was about to take a sip of my coffee.
It's a good thing you didn't.
Yeah, no.
And she's like, well, Vax, that makes sense. It's already a word, but what could Vax mean? And I'm like, well, like, vaccine, like, kind of.
Are you serious? That was what you grabbed?
That's the only thing I could grab.
Really?
What would you have grabbed? Vax? What else is there?
Like, my husband's name starts with an A, and he's a boy. Our son's name starts with an A, and he's a boy. My name starts with an E, and I'm a girl. That's how I would have, like, told them apart. Because A's are...
Emily,
A's are feminine.
This show came out like 10 years ago, Emily. That's how old this is.
Yeah, and that's how far behind I am. But we're talking about how we would. Honestly, I would have just learned their names. That's That seems like
But they're called Vex and Vax, and at the time in which you were not in the fandom, it's like this was how we remembered it, because it was like it was new. It was new. It was also like when Percy died the first time, that was new. That was new and exciting and scary, and he almost didn't come back.
Yeah, but the name like Percy.
The name like
he invented guns. He was not sitting down long.
He was not.
No, what
you can't keep a good dog down, and I don't think that's the actual saying, but that is how I remember it.
Yeah, no, that song stuck in my head.
You're welcome, and that's why Vax, he went down and he stayed down.
So,
because he called the goddess of death a bitch.
Good for him.
And this was another thing when.
Well, that's another frustrating thing is that it's like, okay, well, how do you know when like they're dead and when they're not dead?
Remember in Semantic Titan when they killed the robot, and it's like you could just tell that like
it's called Octus the robot.
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Some respect.
Octus, when they killed Octus, and it's like we've got 2 episodes left, and this is like they're the final
robot?
2. We have been canceled.
The robot.
Shut up.
We had a whole funeral for the robot.
Yes, we did. And that we did not have...
It was literally the glue that bonded the family together. You know what, that's going to be another podcast. No, hold on. No. Put a pin in that. We'll talk about Symbiotic Titan.
I'm so sorry.
We'll talk about shows that were ended too soon. Speaking of,
so sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
We can talk Gendy Tartakovsky, because I have much to say about
my gosh.
that.
We can have 6 episodes.
I have so much to say. We have another like steampunk white-haired boy who is like whipped in such like
talking about unicorn something.
Unicorn Warriors Eternal. It's such a simp for his wife.
Okay, but we're talking about critical
with a dumb name.
Yes, we will come back to. Well, yeah, we will. That does kind of, I guess, those 2 things.
We will circle back to that. His goth wife.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said.
Who's like, I am unlovable because of like issues surrounding my parents.
That's what I liked about Vex, though, at least in the episodes that I watched.
Hey, isn't the place that...
Yes, that is the place that we blew that tire 14 years ago. You've said that every time we've driven past it.
And I will continue.
For 14 years.
I will continue to do so every single time.
Anyway.
I like that I didn't even get the full question out.
No, you didn't. I just know to expect it. I can't even drive past that, like, on my own without thinking of it. Now, what I like about Vex is that...
What you hate about me, what you like about Vex.
Yes. What I like about Vex is that she's very much one of those people that's not going to let, like, I hate to say it, but, like, the episode that I've watched, like, Percy is very much, like, he just found out, like, who killed his parents, and they're having dinner with them, and, like, Vex goes to his room and is like, not gonna do this, like, self-loathing bullshit. Like, if we're gonna do something about it, we're gonna
Briar Woods.
It kind of keeps him from, like, going any further down than he already did.
But he does.
I mean, I know he does later, but I appreciated that that's what her role was to kind of be the voice of reason, because there have been a lot of shows where it's like, actually, no, hold on, we're going to keep this critical role. Who are the 2 that I talk about not liking together every time when we talk about this?
Pike and Scanlan.
Yes. Those 2. Why? Is there, like, something that I'm... I was hoping for, like,
there is something...
Vegeta and Bulma moment where it's like, okay, they're, they have an understanding now, and they, But there's just... I can't get past it.
How far behind are you in the series?
Look, 10 years. We've already established this. How far behind am I?
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Okay, so
they get divorced, if it makes you feel any better, after they have their 2 kids.
It doesn't, because they still, like, why?
Spoilers, but like I said,
he's supposed to be, like, the, like, ladies' man,
because
bare-chested, whatever the hell.
Because
and she's supposed to... Wasn't she a priest? Who was the priest? Somebody was a priest. Not a priest, but you know what I mean? Okay, so there is something that, like this... It's not
The Everlight, she was a...
Okay, but keep going. But I guess that's it. Is they're so okay.
You can be the cleric and still.
Oh, cleric. Okay, I knew it was something
and still you could be the holy person in the group and still do stuff and
do unholy stuff.
Yeah,
I guess that's just it. Is that they are so
in the animated series, which they do them a little different.
But there's
in the animated series
about them that would okay.
Well, let me explain.
Okay, I'm not gonna like it regardless. Give your reasoning.
The animated series, they did him a little different. So they're rather than be openly flirty. He discovers that he has a daughter.
Yeah, I did
that. But earlier on, and decides that he is going to be a changed man because his daughter thinks so little of him, but is such this amazing person. And at one point he has this vision of him in the future and him and his friends in the future and what kind of future he wants to have. And it's he's telling his grandkids about this, and his daughter walks in and is okay, Dad, one more story and then we got to put the kids to bed. And just him wanting this life, this family life, and Pike being the one that's kind of believes in him and is okay, whether or not they're together, she's that is really sweet, and I know you want to be a better man for your daughter.
So now it just kind of feels like they got together because of the sake of this vision.
They are not together yet. They were not together in the vision. They are not together yet. She just thinks it's very noble of him, and then at one point when they're all kind of reeling for different, this is before Percy dies, of course, but they're all kind of reeling, and Vax and Keyleth are going through their thing, and Percy is going through Vax at all of that is going on, and then Pike wakes up the next day.
I see what you did there.
But Pike wakes up the next day looking like the glorious goddess that she is, and Scanlan, she's hey, I know we were kind of alone last night, and, just know that we're not actually alone. We're, I'm still here for you, buddy, and he misinterprets it and goes to kiss her, and she backs up and whoa, what? He's, fuck, I fucked up, and
I guess that's just my thing with them, is that they're very, okay, there are some pairings that had chemistry, and then there are some because people in the group were just getting together. Does that make sense?
If I had to, piggybacking off what you compare them to, or, wanted them to be earlier, they're very much like Yamcha and Bulma back in the original Dragon Ball.
That's where, okay.
There you go.
That's, I think that's what it felt like more to me, is that it's I can see where
it was
something could have been there, but it never sat right with me. And I was hoping for a Bulma and Vegeta. I was hoping, but you know what I mean? I was
gonna say you got to 4 episodes.
Yeah, but it was
ship.
Yeah. And now, okay, so it was kind of terrible because, I said, I did find out that I was pregnant, and found out, but right around the time I found out I was pregnant. So I had morning sickness watching this show, and now I just kind of associate it with that. But by the way, because we said this in the other podcast, but we didn't say it in this one. We've been gone for a year and a half. At least I have. For about a year and a half now, because
we've been longer. We've been away longer than animated Legend of Vox Machina.
Yes,
Critical Role.
Yes, we have. Because my husband and I did have a baby, so now we're kind of back into the swing of things almost a year later. And now we're recording. Okay.
I'm very much like the act. I am both.
You're ridiculous. I tell you.
Hey.
Not in a bad way, just in
I straddle the line of it's Vax, their little half-sister, and then Cassandra. Like, I am the trifecta. I am the three of them, because I am, like, the serious aunt, the drunk aunt, and then, like, I don't want to say the normal aunt, but the normal aunt. But then I'm always up to, like, something. I am in cahoots with someone else at all times. So, like, I think, what was the half-sister's name?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna look it up right quick. But, like, all three of, like...
But here's the thing, is that unless you got to the bit where he has, like, the kid... You said that they did that different, right? Like, that's not... This isn't part of the original, right? This was, like, a thing that just happened. Right? Or no? Am I reading into this wrong?
Ballora.
Okay.
Ballora was the sister. No, he had the kid in the original, but they did, like... The timing and setup of everything is different.
Okay, I gotcha. Cheeks.
But still the same enough to, like, I was born... Because my friend is a little bit behind.
Sammy.
So... Kind of, like... Not behind, like, we watched the show together, but... behind enough that, like, didn't recognize that that's who that was supposed to be. And she's like, oh, Scanlan has, like, a new girlfriend. It's like, no! Do you know who that is? That's the other thing, like, between, like, the animated series and, like, the, between the animated and then, like, the original artwork shows.
I was like drinking butter.
There are some characters that it's like, you don't recognize them right off the bat.
I think that was my point, though, is that it's like...
But no, they did the timing of it a little different.
That, like, from a parent's perspective, which is in the other podcast that I really feel like we could have done better on, so I feel like this is going to get posted first.
We were getting into the groove of things.
Yeah, but I feel like this is still going to be posted first.
It's like, when you lose the baby weight and you're trying to fit into your old jeans, like, you got to break them back in. What? That's recording the podcast. That's what that's like. We got to break it back in.
I was back in my old jeans. Like,
I know you were. I was back in your old jeans.
Yeah. Speaking about the other song. Gonna put on my old blue jeans.
Sorry. And get hit by a car. Because that's how... Just to bring it full circle, like I said, that is such a ridiculous
way. Is this just a Making Fun of Percy podcast, or did you want to talk about more things Critical Role?
I kind of wanted to, but for right now, because that's all one episode. Or I guess it's all the one season as of right now, which is like 6 episodes. But oops.
Oh, we gotta talk about
God,
that.
We're
going somewhere with that.
We'll
right now.
Go somewhere with that later. But to me, of all the ways, and then the thing I didn't care for,
what
they changed
this episode anyway.
Percy DeBraldo. No, and the worst part, you are the first person to laugh at that. I don't think Hunter could. So, everybody's looking at Except for Grog.
Except for Grog, yeah.
Except for
think about it. Well, it's unfair to Grog because there's how many people...
No, it isn't.
Oh, hey, Bobby.
Buddy, he's the asexual member of the group. And,
yeah, but I mean, he deserved, like... I feel like him and Keyleth could have been, like, platonic life partners.
You can be platonic soulmates with someone and then have to do with nothing, Emily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Keyleth is asexual. She's in an asexual relationship with Vax. Or at least widely asexual. Until he dies.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead now.
He's dead now, but... Oh, it's okay, honey. He doesn't come back. I hope that dumb baby is fussing.
Yeah, give some closing remarks.
Closing remarks, I was gonna say, going back to Grog, I love Grog, because when Percy and Vexer
doesn't piss me off. You know,
when
he reminds me of what's his name from
when they're flirting and a bird shitting on you is supposed to be good luck and romance, and I should put a bird's nest in my room years ago, and that's funny. No, that's weird as hell. Why would you do that?
What is God, what is that? He reminds me of somebody from another show I used to watch.
Wow, that is so specific.
No, hold on. What? Cowboy Bebop. Who? You know who I'm talking about?
Spike? No, not Spike.
No, Spike, the other guy.
I was going to say Rock, because it's something... Hold on, I'm looking at it.
But he reminds me of kind of like that, like, he's there. You know what I mean?
They have the same beard.
Everybody else is, like, going through it, and he's just kind of like, I'm here. I came for the snacks.
They changed a lot of things about Percy's death. Cowboy Beans ended up popping up instead. That's not what I clicked on. But no, I love him, and then it hurt like even more when he's like, well, you gotta fix him. Except Pike is there; she wasn't supposed to be there.
Lord, the name of the guy from Cowboy Bebop.
Anna Ripley gets away. That is so frustrating. That's
kind of like when you want to know the name of something and somebody starts looking up and doesn't tell you what it is.
I'm looking it up.
We're going to remember by the time, like, see if the baby's crying.
No. It wasn't Jet.
Yeah, it was Jet. It was Jet.
That doesn't sound right.
Look it up.
I know that's what it is. It just doesn't... Oh, I read that wrong. He once lived with a woman named Elisa. All
right, give your closing remarks.
Percy is dead. For right now.
But not really.